too long ago.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the Mack Brothers podcast. This is attempt number 3 to try and record this. It's our 62nd episode of the podcast. I only know that because this is the third time I've said it.
Yes.
This is the second time I said it. The first time you said it.
First time I said it.
You know what that means? If we're on episode number 62, this worked out exactly how we planned. And Country Woman's out right now.
Country Woman's out right now, everyone. And not only is it out wherever you can listen to music, it's also, the music video is out on our YouTube channel, the same channel you're watching this on. I made it in about an hour and a half, but even though that doesn't seem like a lot of time, I worked hard on it.
It was a hard hour and a half.
It was a tough hour and a half. And don't forget, I work 50 hours a week not on music, and I probably work about 15 hours a week, 20 hours a week on music, and so this was overtime for music.
This was overtime.
So we're looking at 80 hours.
John, it
here.
shows too. The hard work. It's
Yeah,
paying off
I'm
because
I got
people
some more
are
praise.
people are looking at it.
People are looking at it.
People are looking at it.
150 views in 4 days, which is a lot for us.
It is.
And,
That's why we have this rainbow.
Shows that we're making progress. We have a couple new subscribers. Thank you for subscribing.
Welcome.
Continue to tell your friends. I think we make music up there with the best artists out
The best
right
of
now.
them.
Including some of our friends, including Bees, who part of the video was filmed in Mike's house.
I played his. That's me in the video playing his long jangly tambourine thing that has a real name, which I don't know.
Mike, or if anyone has watched the video and knows what that's called,
Let us know, please.
put it in the comments. But
Please let us know.
yeah. So thank you for watching. Continue to watch. Pump it out there.
Pump it.
We don't want to work anymore on things that aren't
Pump
this
it out there.
and music. So please, for heaven's sake, like and subscribe. Make us some money. We don't want to work anymore unless it's bringing joy to you all.
Joy to the masses.
Joy to the masses. The 160 people that watched. Oh, it's at
Masses.
150. It's at 160 now, I think.
That's 100.
So we're
that
getting
means, that means only 2 more of our subscribers need to watch it. I think we're at 162. Last time I saw.
That's another
Which
thing.
when we
We're
started
growing
when
organically.
we started the podcast, we were at 50. Exactly 50. When we started up the
Yeah.
Mack Brothers podcast again.
Yep.
We were at exactly 50. So we've gained 102, 111, 112 subscribers because we're at 162.
Yeah. So
So that's cool. And everyone, thank you for subscribing. And
Yeah,
if you're watching, thank you
keep
for
it up.
watching.
So I found out some brand new breaking news from 1973
Yeah,
today.
Can you tell me what's this anticipation you were just building before we started recording this?
So we're working on a song, and to get inspiration, to give you kind of an idea what the song sounds like, I was listening to Goat Head Soup by the Rolling Stones, the whole album, which sidebar, the song Scarlet didn't make the cut, which features Jimmy Page, and it really should have, because like 5 of the 10 songs aren't even close to as good as Scarlet is. And even the I think the best song on there is Angie. It would be Angie and then Scarlet. So
Gotcha.
It's really crazy how they didn't put that on there. But beside the point. So I was listening to Star Star, which is internally in the Rolling Stones called Starfucker, because the lyrics are Starfucker. And I found out that it was kind of a diss track to Carly Simon. Because
She sings that famous song.
she
What's that
sings,
song called?
You're So Vain.
Yeah, you probably think this song is about
and
you.
Mick Jagger does background vocals on it, and they had an affair for 9 months in 1972, and then he wrote a diss track to her in 1973 called Starfucker, and he drags her name through the mud, and I don't like people being like slut shamed,
drug through the mud?
slut shamed or kink shamed or whatever we're calling it, but I just love gossip, and I love juicy gossip and stuff like this. So I had to tell you. Who else am I going to? Who else cares about the drama of the Rolling Stones in 1973 with Carly Simon in my life.
I think it's definitely
You don't even
cool.
care, but
I mean, I have a very if this was the Monday Mac and I was rating how much I care about this, it would probably be like a 4 out of 10.
yeah.
Like, I'm happy I heard it, but I'm not gonna like. It's not gonna like. I'm not gonna remember it.
But so this is how I looked at it. So I'm listening to Goathead Soup,
Yeah.
and I'm thinking to myself, this is the worst, or this is the half of this album's kind of lacking to me,
Yeah.
especially compared to Sticky Fingers, Exile on Main Street. Some Girls came out later. Like, I mean, they're the other 3 out of 5 albums that came out in the 70s for the Rolling Stones.
Okay.
And it's like Goathead Soup was even though Angie's on it, that's incredible. But then when I heard Starfucker for the first time today, I was like, this has to be about somebody. So I Googled it and found out the backstory. And then it kind of puts another couple songs, which I don't think any other song's really about Carly Simon, but it puts into context. You really think, oh, a lot of these lyrics in these songs, even if they feel like throwaways now, they were about something. They were about, like, some, Mick Jagger was going through some rock star shit.
Let me ask you a question. This is like big picture with these Rolling Stones albums from the 70s. Because I know a lot more of their stuff from the 60s and the 70s. It seems like I'm just going to put it's not good to generalize, but I'm going to put like a generalized number. It seems like maybe 80 to 90% of all the music that they've ever made, and a large part of their outputs in the 70s, is not worth listening to more than once. What makes one of their albums like Exile on Main Street, like I don't know, like I think like for me to really love a band fully, like I got to be able to deep dive all their albums, and I still haven't been able to do that with a lot of these monolith rock bands like the Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
I'm not going to, like, I don't really have, maybe I'm just not in my like 70s hard rock bluesy phase, but I don't have the desire to go listen to their to listen to like 5 Rolling Stones album from the 70s like you do. I don't know if it's like I'm not at that point yet, or
I think I'm just so thirsty for that, like, style of music that's good.
Okay.
That, like, I'll sift through a bunch of songs that I don't like to curate a playlist for when I'm drunk and I need to hear 15 to 20 great Rolling Stone songs in that same vein.
Yeah.
Like, then I'll know, all right, so, like, I'm skipping 12 songs to get to Plunder My Soul on Main Street. Or,
yeah.
like, I know to go right to fucking Tumbling Dice, or what, Tumbling Dice is one of my favorite ever by them. But,
yeah.
But like in work, while I'm multitasking, doing whatever else I'm doing in work, I'll listen to, I'll put on one of those albums that everyone says are great, and I'll find the songs that actually are great, and I'll put them in my own thing. But I found a couple of really good songs that I like. Through doing that. Like, that, I would have never heard Dead Flowers by the Rolling. Like, doing these deep dives, I found them.
So I think
Dead Flowers might not be a great example.
I don't know.
But
I feel like maybe a reason why bands stop putting out such large quantities of music in at such a rapid pace was because in the 60s and 70s you had bands that were just fucking shooting songs out there. Like, you know how like rappers, sometimes new rappers will put out like 5 albums in a year, and it's like all their songs suck. There's like 3 songs that are like catchy, and the rest of them just suck. They're just producers. They're just stream farming basically at this point. I feel like that's what a lot of these bands would do in the 70s. They'd have 2 good songs that they would put out as singles that would sell, and then the album would sell because the singles sold. Oh, well, Angie's on there, so we'll get the out. You know what I mean? So then they could just write Starfucker and not care about, like I'm not saying that it's not a good song lyrically, but like you just showed me the music in that song, and it sounds like any other, like if you put that song like an AI Rolling Stones just music simulator, that's what it would pump out. Like it would pump out a million of them. Like I think like the lyrical quality might be worth listening to more than like the music, because I'll get shown random Rolling Stones songs sometimes that aren't like their popular, singles that are talked about, and I'm just like, this sounds like the last Rolling Stones song I've showed. It sounds just like it.
I definitely agree with almost all of that.
I think like by the third one, I'm like, can we just put something else on? Even if it's by the Rolling Stones, like don't they have something different? Like don't they have novelty?
I agree. Well, when I was listening to Goat Said Soup, and I never listened to that album full the way through. Oh, that was my Bluetooth speaker shutting off. I never listened to that.
It sounded like the aliens were coming down.
I never listened to that all the way through.
Damn, cuz your shoulders are looking huge, cuz.
That's the camera trick.
Damn, cuz. Look, you could take on the fucking world right now.
What was it saying?
You were talking about how you just saw your reflection in the camera. You're going to go box a polar bear at the North Pole.
Goat's Head Soup. First time I listened to it ever, full through. I can tell you the songs right now. I think 4 out of 10
Goat's
of
Head
them,
Soup.
4 out of 10 of them are good, are really good.
Sounds like Tony Soprano's favorite Rolling Stones album, don't it?
Obviously Angie. 5 out of 10 are good.
Yeah.
Obviously Angie. There's a song called 100 Years Ago. I just kind of like the vibe to it. Coming Down Again is also one of the slower Rolling Stone songs. I really dig a slower Rolling Stone song because there's just there's always like a soul to it that doesn't exist in any other kind of music. Winter might be my third favorite song off of Goat's Head Soup. It's just a really nice song. Star, which is really called Starfucker.
Is their Winter better than U2's unreleased demo Winter?
No.
And not the one that they put out for the movie.
Can we just talk about
the 6-minute one that they put out that was amazing?
The 2 songs that U2 didn't release, and I can't believe they didn't release.
Winter and Mercy?
Mercy and Winter are
so good. They're so good.
They're so good.
They're such great songs.
Mercy, I mean,
you know what? Listen, as me being older, when I heard them when I was younger, I thought these songs have to come out. But now that I'm older and I listen to them, I think that they're great songs, but I get why they didn't put them on an album because neither of them feel like finished songs. Yeah. I see why they didn't do it, but I feel like they maybe could have worked on them for like 2 more weeks and put them out.
Yeah, that's I think it's more like I think Mercy was had a Dismantle Atomic Bomb B-side, and I think Winter was a 2009.
So Mercy was definitely a B-side left off of How to Dismantle Atomic Bomb.
Not a B-side, yeah, a demo. I meant.
It was definitely a demo that they recorded. They said that they didn't finish. I think they got the demo that they had when Steve Lillywhite came in because their sessions were failing because they started working with new producers in about 02, 03, and they didn't really like it. Off of Electrical Storm, which is a fantastic U2 song.
Yeah.
Go listen to both versions of that song because they're interesting. But they redid it later. They redid Mercy later for their live show. They made it like a live part of their set in the U2 360 tour, which I didn't necessarily agree with the fact that they did it. But, I mean, that's how they wanted to do it, whatever. That song definitely I feel like should have been a B-side.
Could have been a standalone single.
It could have been a standalone single. Maybe they could have put it out in like 06. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think what they probably were trying to do was they were probably trying to finish that song when they went into work with Rick Rubin in 07 and 08 for No Line on the Horizon. But the Rick Rubin sessions failed too, and that's when they got Window in the Sky out of that session.
Another great standalone single.
Great standalone single, but their sessions with him failed, and that's when they met back up with their classic trio of people, and they had How to Dismantle Atomic Bomb. Winter was a song that they got that the demo version that's out was actually the cut of the version they did when they were workshopping it to get it to the point where it was ready for the Brothers soundtrack. Because that movie's for the Brothers soundtrack. It was officially released. The version I'm talking about is the full band version that they put out, which is awesome. It's so rough around the edges. Like, you can hear the drums are not really mixed. Like, I can hear that now. I couldn't hear it before.
Yeah.
I can hear that both songs aren't polished, but they're so fucking good.
Yeah.
They're so fucking good. I think the lyrics in Winter, now that I'm older, are actually better than the lyrics in Mercy.
I have to re-listen to... How about North Star?
North Star, the version that random guy put online, random guy put bass and drums to the acoustic version that Bono and the Edge did. is a great version of that song, actually.
Wasn't there a snippet of it
At the end of the Transformers movie.
in a Transformers movie?
Yes.
But it was never released.
In the credits.
It was never released on, like the soundtrack for the movie.
Yes.
So what the fuck are they doing? I
don't
mean,
know.
North Star's a great fucking song. Like, I always think of those opening lyrics. 45. Is it 45?
45 light years from home is
It's
where you are and where I want to be.
Excellent
That's
lyric.
Awesome lyric.
Yeah. And then something that's, whatever. Just great melody, great lyrics. The chords fit perfectly.
It's akin to A Man and a Woman. It's in the same vein of that style that they have.
You know, by the way, I think A Man and a Woman is a tad bit overrated. Or
I don't really think that song's usually rated.
You can't say it's not usually rated. I think I overrated it when I was younger.
Yeah. I mean, you could have done that.
Now I think to myself,
I don't know how you rated it. I feel like I've always had. I feel like I always had it properly rated.
I thought it was excellent, and I was like listening to it. It just came on, and I was like, ooh, and then I was like, I don't know. There's something about it that it just doesn't grab me like it used to. But it's not ear fatigue because I haven't heard it in a long time.
Sometimes you just move away from songs the way you move away from people. And then every now and then they'll just make they'll make their way back into your space.
Lexicon?
Yeah, like a song will leave. If you really, it's like if you love someone, you have to let them go, they say. That's not always true. I don't think any monogamous relationship would ever work if that was true, because then everyone would be letting go everyone they love, and no one would be with people they love. So don't take that person's advice. But whatever. What was I saying?
I think you were saying that the sponsor of the pod is League Island Brewing Club. That is one thing that will never leave.
Yes.
And I will never let it leave. League Island Brewing Club.
Actually, matter of fact, if you let go of that beer now, it actually has a magnetic attraction to your hand, and it'll just come back to you immediately. So the saying actually works for League Island Brew. If that
like
will come back to you. It's like did you say it's like a moon ring?
It's like a boomerang.
Oh, I thought you said it's like a moon ring.
No.
It's like, it can make your mood better.
It will always make your mood better. League Island Brewing Club, a delicious, homemade, family-owned business. Link will be in the description.
It's a delicious, homemade, family-owned business. You could eat the business. You could smell the business. And you could also buy some of their...
Most importantly, you can drink the business.
Yes.
Their porter is, right now, all the rage. Jesus' favorite beer. League Island Brewing Club. Back to what you were saying about...
monogamous relationships.
Yeah. So...
There's lots of sayings. In life that aren't true. There's a
First of all, we were talking about U2.
We were talking about U2.
We had recently...
And I had when you're done saying that, I had a novel thought that I wanted to share about U2.
Say that first.
So, what I realized when I was younger, I listened and I got into U2 in chronological order. Because the first CD that we had that was a U2 CD, it was when they did the 09 remasters. I think Our Father's Friend or Our Father or You, somehow, I don't know, I was so young, the way that it was acquired, I have no idea. When they reissued those, we got them and put them all on I put it on my Zune at the time and all that shit. And I was like obsessed with October. That was the first U2 album I liked. Like the whole album that I would listen to was October. And I remember for a month or two straight, all I would listen to is I Throw a Brick Through a Window. I was absolutely obsessed with that song.
I'll tell you how.
And then I got into all the other albums.
I'll tell you how those songs got into your life. You ready?
You see, you probably remember how we got the CDs.
I heard With or Without You coming home from summer school.
Yeah.
When I was 15.
Yes.
And I made Mommy get me their greatest hits.
U218. I remember when we got that
U218.
because I was 11 when
And
we
then
got
I was
that.
obsessed with that. And then I think it was the Christmas after, or like even maybe further down the line, my birthday, I made mommy and daddy buy
Boy,
me
October and
every
War,
album, every U2 album.
Oh, yeah, but remember, there was like 3 that they couldn't get. They couldn't find Zooropa.
Yeah.
They couldn't find Pop.
Mm-hmm.
And they couldn't find... There was one more they couldn't find.
It might have been... I without a doubt, and you
know what it
remember
was?
too.
It was The Unforgettable Fire. They had trouble finding The Unforgettable Fire.
You know...
Did they?
I don't remember.
There was an album, though, that there was definitely 2. I know we didn't have Pop because we got that from Mommy's friend who gave us that because that was like a missing link in our connection. That was like Pop was like a dead zone for a long time.
It was Boy. We didn't have Boy.
We didn't have Boy forever.
I don't think we ever got.
We did get
Boy.
it. We did because I remember reading the liner notes, but it was like months after. It was like for Easter.
Boy was tough to get.
Yeah, Boy was hard to get, but I was obsessed with their initial albums, and still to this day I listen to their initial albums, and it makes me feel like a kid, you know, which I'm sure there's a lot of older people that feel the same way. Like when those songs first came. Oh, I remember "I Will Follow" when it came out on the radio. Yeah. But I think the interesting thing is I don't listen to those. This is kind of to piggyback with what I was saying before. I don't listen to those songs very often, but sometimes they'll come back into my life. Like a recommended video might be U2 from like '05 in Chicago doing an NCAT dub into the Heart. And like that's a magical video, and then I'll go back and listen to those songs with like fresh ears, and it's nice. Like when sometimes songs will organically come back into your life and they feel new again, which I think is interesting, and I wonder what the brain science behind that is.
It's gotta be. It has to be like the same receptor, the nostalgia. You know what I mean?
I feel like it triggers
like a smell. Like a smell that reminds you of something.
Yeah, I feel like it triggers that, but it probably also does feel like that new feeling again. I feel like it's the same. It also triggers that part of your brain too. It's what does rediscovery do to your brain? Like why is a rediscovery so powerful? Especially with music. I was thinking a lot about this. I was thinking about like what makes us enjoy beats. And then I thought maybe it's because when we were hunters, we looked for patterns to better be able to get our prey, or like we look for patterns in behavior to better navigate the world. Like does it come from us being animals and then it's just applied to our like was it a defect that turned into a positive?
I think it depends on the first thing you were the very first musical structure that excited you or that you were able to not learn how to play, but recognize the patterns of it. You know what I mean? So like for us, or at least for me, it was NSYNC and Backstreet Boys when I was like 5, right? Now I have I feel I have a connectivity to those kind of chord progressions.
Bubblegum pop chord progressions.
But if you listen to those NSYNC and Backstreet Boys chords, they were old school style chord progressions.
Yeah, the underneath parts are good.
They were the same chord progressions that they were using in the 60s and the 50s for those pop songs, you know what I mean? And then so now when I hear when a song is just the same 4 chords in a row, it annoys me and it annoys you. But I think it's because that's not what it has to be fucking phenomenal for it to be only a couple chords and not change for us to like it. Why? It's because those you go back to the first things that we learned and recognized and liked. Recognized that we liked. You see, they were intricate. They were more intricate. They were more interesting. The melodies were strong. The harmonies were fucking perfect. And then, now as we get older, we find similar patterns with artists that came out way before NSYNC, Beach Boys, the Beatles, of course, even U2, like those same melodies, those same things are done better by those guys, and that's why they're up here for us. But it all goes back to that original thing that we really dug.
So I think I was saying, why did we as humans develop a love for music in general? But I do agree with what you're saying about how, because certain cultures recognize minor chords, for example, as happy sounds, whereas in American culture or Western culture, we recognize minor chords as
Darker.
we relate them to sadder emotions, the darker end of the emotional scale. I think the book that David Byrne from Talking Heads, that he has, like What is Music or whatever the title is, just look up. He wrote a book about the history of music, for all the way from prehistoric to now, or basically like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And he goes over a lot of stuff. It's a really interesting, like, read on music. If you're interested in music, I mean, if you're listening to our podcast, there's a good chance that your music is one of your top interests.
Yeah.
But it's also a good read in general, just to understand people. Because music is such a connector. Like today, I was walking to my car. I was going on lunch break, and guy came in from his smoke break like an hour later when I was already back, and he was like, "Hey, I heard you were talking about a podcast. Do you do a podcast?" And I was like, "Yeah, me and my brother do a podcast." So we talked for a little bit. Turns out he's a musician. He used to do a podcast. He still records with his friends and all that stuff. But it's insane how, like, I kind of got along with this guy anyway, just on like a hey, how you doing, good morning type of basis. But it to me, in my head I was like, are like the people I get along with, do they have the same type of preset, like, do they do the same things, like, but I might not know it yet. You know what I mean? Like, what are the odds of me having the same level of, like, connectivity, like natural chemistry, with a person that has a totally different set of interests that I do?
I had a similar thought, but it was about something different.
What was it about for you?
I think
it was about fashion. Was it about those
No.
those beautiful Balenciaga videos?
No, but they're incredible. Did you see the one I sent you today?
I like all the comments are like, remember what Balenciaga did, because they had the whole kids dressed up in bondage gear.
That was fucking terrible.
That was weird. But
they're not the ones doing the marketing for this, right? Like, this is just somebody making fun of it.
But see, somebody put in the comments, I feel like this is a big psyop site, like, for Balenciaga, to get people to like be Balenciaga again and kind of forget about it. Like, so then I was watching these videos. I'm like, am I being brainwashed in real? Like, was this a viral campaign? Was this like a viral video that then Balenciaga piggybacked all, which I feel like is more likely. I feel like Balenciaga's team didn't just come up with this concept.
Yeah.
But I feel like they could piggyback off of it. But the videos are really fun. I mean, I'm not going to go buy Balenciaga now, but the videos...
But we can't afford Balenciaga anyway.
Yeah, we can't. But that's beside the point. Even if I could afford Balenciaga, I probably wouldn't buy it.
You know, it's funny and it's fucking scary.
Yeah, it is scary.
It's fucking creepy. It feels like a dream.
Dude, the TikTok algorithm is terrifying.
All of the artificial intelligent art and videos and stuff that's being made, they're so minorly off.
They're so very
terrifying.
It's like 0.5% of the human element's missing.
They're like legit dreams. If you remember remember a scary dream you've had, and that eerie feeling that it's almost real. And that's what these fucking
really great
artificial intelligence, this is what they feel like. You watch them.
That's a great way to relate how artificial, it's like watching a dream. Yeah. But you know what's going to be interesting to see? Well, one, it's going to be interesting to see, like, how doesn't artificial intelligence keep progressing to the point where it takes over the world? And it's also, which is terrifying, but a real possibility. And then it's also interesting to see, at what point do people just give up? Like, why would I write a song, or why would I create a painting, or if a company like Sony, right? Why would Sony sign a new big artist when they could just type in a few lines of code and get a pop song that would be better than somebody else wrote?
Well, I think that's why. I mean, And let's be honest, Matthew. If a big corporation wanted us to sign a 3-album deal right
Yeah,
now,
we would sign it.
we would do it in a heartbeat
We definitely would.
because we're older now and we
But
would
what's that got to do with
save
AI
the money.
generated?
No, but what I was going to say is
labels.
that's why it's important for independent artists to stay independent when they
Yeah.
can.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Because at least right now, artificial intelligence is not close to replicating like what a really great song is. They might be able to put out the next David Guetta record, but that's because David Guetta is basically a robot anyway.
But
without a
here's
soul.
but what I'm saying is
That ruins music.
is that 90% of people, I mean I'm not going to slap a figure to it, but I'll just say like a large amount of people that listen to music listen to songs like that, and those are the people that are going to buy, stream, whatever. They're the ones that are going to monetize the AI music that they don't even know is AI music.
Yeah.
They're gonna monetize the crappy David Guetta song that was only generated because it wants to be a viral TikTok anyway. That's gonna defund the popular artists, say, that are true. Like, there's always gonna be high earning artists.
Yeah.
Even if there weren't major labels, there's always gonna be people that bubble up to the top. But what I'm saying is these companies having so much power, and then a mass of consumers that will consume that, there's always going to be the niche that we're in musically.
I think the hope, and I think it's still very much a reality, is that there's no replacement for a live show.
Yeah.
And when
that's definitely true.
I've worked every different kind of artist, and I'll tell you, like, a great example is Jingle Ball. So Halsey,
you said that so fucking so South fucking. Let me tell you about Jingle Ball.
Oh, did I really?
Yeah, that was so South Philly.
I fucking like screaming.
What, you got a Charlie horse now, cuz?
No, but perfect example. Halsey was the second closer at Jingle Ball one year, or it might have been Selena Gomez, one of them, right? Mm-hmm. Everyone went to see them.
Yeah.
Now, the real closer had the number one single out and had the most streams ever, or whatever the fuck at the time.
Was it Bad Bunny?
It was BTS. Oh, okay. Everyone left. They played to maybe 4,000 people out of 15 or 12,000.
That's insane.
Why? Because even though it's a catchy song, no one wants to hear that fucking formulated shit. They don't want to see it live.
So you're giving humans more credit than I'm giving humans.
Yeah, I think the live experience, like if you looked at like tour numbers, like the reason why country blows almost everyone else out of the water, there's always a great live aspect to it. There's always true. There's people with acoustic guitars. Everyone's playing an instrument. People are going like that. You know what I mean? To the crowd, they're shaking hands. Taylor Swift's absolutely going to probably demolish every live touring thing of all time. Why? Because even though she does have some formulaic stuff, she's a real person with real things. She has legit drama that happens, but she's a human that makes human music.
I think with
Steve Aoki, one more thing. Steve Aoki might be able to sell at festivals because people are doing LSD and shit like that. Look at his fucking. He's not going to go to Wells Fargo Center by himself. He can't.
Oh yeah.
He can't sell out legit stadiums. He can't do his own tour because all his songs are formulaic. All his songs are basically robotic bullshit. And there's 50,000 different real artists that are on each single, which makes them popular. You might as well go see a DJ in an actual club. What's the difference?
Yeah.
If you're not at a fucking festival.
I think
that's the only that's what I'm saying. I think humans would go to one AI concert and look up and go, "This is fucking terrible. This is boring."
I think
I could do this at home.
I watched the Sam Harris conversation that he had with Lex Friedman, which was like fucking 4 hours, but he had some really interesting thoughts on AI. Which there's lots of really high level people right now putting out a lot of great discussions about AI, which I recommend people watch and listen to, because right now I feel like AI is much like you just went out and you just planted a tree and it just started to sprout, and you're looking at it and you're like, I wonder, like you found a seed and you planted it and
Yeah.
you're like, I wonder what this could be. That's what AI is.
And we don't know what it actually.
We don't know.
Be.
We don't know. One, more things have to be put in data sets. Data sets are what they draw from to generate things, and algorithms are still very early. But we don't know the ways that it can hack our brain. We also don't know the ways that it could help us too.
Yeah.
There's certain ways that AI can be used, for example, to help veterans that have PTSD, and they could pair that with a smart injection system where they can inject you with microdoses of different chemicals based on what you need moment by moment to help you to decouple emotions from traumatic experiences.
Yeah.
So like AI could be really good for that, but then like art, like imagine you make t-shirt designs. Like I feel like that's an industry. There's lots of little creative industries like that where AI art's going to stomp those fucking people. Unfortunately, I feel like a lot of those businesses are going to be really hard to remain. Like if you're at a local level, like in Philly, and you're walking around and you're like, oh, the cool t-shirt shop. You know, if you could go on your phone and get this, like a design that's better for on a shirt that's better, and it's so cheap because it's done AI generated, and everything is automated because they have AIs running the machines in the factories, those local people are going to get smashed.
And then
that's why we need to regulate all this shit before it gets at hand.
Definitely needs to be regulated, and it's one of the reasons why. And Andrew Yang definitely fucking took a turn.
Yang Gang?
One of the reasons why when he first came out, I was in the Yang Gang, especially because of now the job that I'm in.
When did he make a turn? I'm sorry. When did Andrew Yang make a turn?
I think he got a little Republican-y. I think he
weird?
got a little bit like
fascist-y?
Yeah, I don't remember what it was. He said he like, oh, you know what? He doesn't like Medicare for all. He doesn't like some things were coming out that were like.
Like, why wouldn't we have a single-payer healthcare
like
system?
More centrist Democrat than, you know, I thought that he was like going to be fucking a revolutionary. And
new way of thinking.
It's a lot of the same old bullshit except UBI and whatever. But one of the main reasons, and the job that I have now is almost a quarter of it is predicated on drivers, making sure drivers are safe, and eventually almost that whole sector of the world, drivers are going to be replaced with artificial intelligence. Because why? You'd save so much money on insurance.
Yeah.
You'd save so much money on. You don't got to fucking pay the drivers.
Yeah.
You just save so much money. And when it's at a point where it's good enough, companies are going to opt that. And we're going to have so many people. And I think it's like something crazy, like 13% of the country are drivers.
Yeah, it's the largest job sector in the country.
They're all going
to be unemployed.
They all could be. Unemployed.
Yeah.
And that's terrifying for everybody.
That's why UBI is something that comes in as you're going to have. What people don't look at is they don't look at the productivity chart in relation to the real wage chart. And real wage is not to be confused with what your wage is. Real wage is what your effective wage is, how much you're making with taxes, after purchases, all that stuff. For example, to live comfortably in California after taxes, you have to make $83,000 for a single person. That's and that's if you're just renting a studio apartment. That's not like you bought a house and you're building wealth. That's like you're breaking even in a studio apartment and you don't have to worry about money.
Now, question: are jobs paying more over there?
They do pay more, but they have a problem over. They have places like California, New York. They have these big city problems where the standard of living there is so high. And you have things like rent that keep going up because you have large commercial interests like BlackRock, for example, which just got stormed in Paris. Go check out everything that's going on in Paris, all the protests over there. What people in Paris are doing is awesome. I love to see labor unions protesting. There's a lot more the governments can be doing for their citizens and doing to protect their citizens. And fuck yeah, go Paris.
For France.
Go for France. Storm the Black Rock Capitol. Storm these corporate offices because when you really look at the world, you know, there's lots of things that have control, and the big businesses have it really, really great because they could just blame the government on everything's the government's fault. You know, it's not their fault. Everything's the government's fault. They have no power. It's all the government. So they have it great because they have this like really easy built-in scapegoat, and all these idiots buy it. You know, they're like, oh yeah, this is great. I love whatever. You know, it's not just the government.
Yeah,
it's the corporations too. It's the man.
Corporations.
It's the man.
The government.
It's the man.
Yeah,
that's why they call They call him the man. Yeah, I feel like if it was the woman, like we would probably have like single payer health care. We probably have UBI.
I think it depends on the woman, just like it depends on the man.
I think I'm also generalizing. I just think women are nicer than men.
Like if Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Oh, we'd be screwed.
We would be fucking. We'd all be riding horses and fucking eating each other.
Be back in the dark ages.
Yeah, it'd be fucking brutal.
Yeah. I don't know what I would do. Like if she took power and the country went to shit, I think I would just start like. I don't know what I would do. I'd probably start that cult I've been talking about for all these years.
So, the reason she is in power is because of Trump, right? Didn't he like sneak her in? Was that her?
I don't know. I don't know her backstory.
I don't remember.
I know she ran I think she ran like a successful contracting construction company in her district. She ran there, and Trump endorsed her. But I think she just won by like 2,000 votes. That was either her or that was Lauren Boebert. I don't know. They're both idiots. They're both banned from the podcast.
Psychopath.
I just think for me, I try to look at all of them through the same lens, and I like, is that right or is that wrong? Not like, are they red or are they blue? I'm just like, is that 100%. Right or is that the wrong thing?
Like I think like John McCain's a great example of someone who was probably right more than they were wrong, even though the things that they were wrong about were wrong. But
yeah, McCain's interesting. I miss when like you got a feeling that the reason they had their views, or like I just miss when like I could look at someone and go like, oh, they're people. But I guess there's always been, I would use the word rot. There's always been rot in the centers of power. There's always rot there. You know, in my mind, you know, we put labels on stuff, but you gotta, some of these fucking people, like some of these people are crazy. Like Dianne Feinstein's like 98.
Has dementia. She's
been she's been sick on like sick leave for like over 50 days, and Biden needs all of the Democrats to be, I think in the Senate or wherever she sat, to approve judges, and he hasn't been able to approve any federal judges because she's not there, because she's too old and sick to be there.
Absolutely.
Just retire.
Yeah.
Just fucking retire. If there's no Democrats that can run in your district and win, and when you've held your seat for all those years, that means that you suck at your job. That means you're bad at your job. That means if you're Democrats, that you're bad at building ground level support too.
Yeah, but we know that they are.
They suck. They're terrible.
Yeah.
And then you have the fascists on the other end in like Tennessee that are just kicking out. And then they keep the white lady. They kicked out the two young black guys, and they kept the older white lady.
Was that Tennessee or Kentucky?
It was one of those states. But they like.
Yeah, it's a fucking joke.
They don't even hide it. They're not even hiding the fact that we're gonna make a racist, openly racist decision.
Yeah.
That backfired because then they were reinstated, which they should be. But like that's clearly a fascist. They protested against our beliefs. We're gonna kick them out. That's what fascists do.
Yep.
Crazy.
So back to U2. No.
What? I can pivot us back to U2 if you want me to.
I just wanted to say what I was going to say.
There was great protest bands, and U2 is not one of them anymore, and that's sad.
I was going to say, you know what they say about power?
What do they say about power?
It's a tough one.
They say that power is can corrupt. That's what they told me.
What's the U2 lyric? You become a monster, so the monster don't break you.
Yeah. That's a good way to look at it. But I think that was on Peace on Earth, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Peace on Earth.
Where they diss I guess the Pope.
No, that's when I look at the world.
I think of you and your holy book while the rest of us choke.
Yeah.
Yeah. What happened?
That's a good
to that,
line.
Man? Why would they do this fucking new record?
That's when he was having meetings with the Pope too. He had a meeting with the Pope like a year after that.
Yeah.
That's ballsy.
He loves this new Pope.
Listen,
I like this new.
Can
Pope,
we get
though.
Can we get these rapists out of our churches though? Can
Yeah.
can
100%.
can somebody do this? I don't care what group.
They didn't do that yet.
I don't care what group you're part of. I don't care if you're Christian, if you're Muslim, if you're Jewish. If you have rapists in your church or your place of worship, just get them out. Stop making excuses for them. God doesn't want them to have sex with your young child.
What would your grandma say? Blow them up. Rip their fucking head off.
Yeah, exactly.
Take them out back and fucking kill them.
Yeah, I miss the guillotine or the gate, however you say it. That's what I miss. Public executions. Well, I'm just saying. We you know what we do on this podcast, John? We go there.
We do.
You know
there.
what we also do? We tell people that we have a new song out that's streaming everywhere live. Right now. It's called Country Woman.
Yeah. Some people call it East Coast country. Some people call it alternative country. Some people call it Americana. We call it good music.
That was very novel. that was beautiful. Was that a paradiddle?
Yep. Ow, fuck, man.
You have another Charlie horse?
It's like this weird. I think I got a slip disc.
Well, everyone, it's been another eventful week here at the Mack Brothers podcast. But whenever we're feeling stressed, we look at our signs that you can't see. One of them says "Radiate Joy." You have Luke over here. You can see this one right here. This one over here says "Free Spirit."
And then we got right up there. It does not make things easy. It makes them
possible. Faith. I feel like there should have been a comma there.
Yeah, well, Luke was a known illiterate person.
Oh, that's a part of that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, cool. My fiance bought them for me, just to make me feel more at home.
Well, I certainly feel at home, and I hope that you all felt at home today, and you went through this experience with us with an open mind. That's all that we can ask for here.
Country Woman's out everywhere.
The best
music videos on YouTube.
What we like to say here is spread positivity, and the best way to do that is to share Country Woman with everyone you know,
yes.
everyone you see. Whether it's comfortable for you or them or not, you should share it with them.
Yeah, if you don't know someone, if you're on a bus and you look to your right and there's a guy with leaves in his hair, all he needs to get his stuff back on track is 4 minutes and 21 seconds of the Mack Brothers' new song, Country Woman. I don't know if it's 4 minutes and 31 seconds. I think it might be, though.
And if he can't figure out a way to play it, just play it for him.
Put your phone right in his ear.
Put it right up to his ear. Play the song. Don't say anything and walk away.
Oh, you're the sun today, by the way.
I am. I'm feeling very bright today.
Here comes the dumb.
Do 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 do. Yeah, what is? Is that a dumb laugh? Because I know people. What if there's like a really smart professor that has that laugh, like an MIT professor? Hello, everyone. Today we're teaching expert economics 101. This class will not be something.
Someone goes,
and he goes. That was really funny.
I knew someone had a similar laugh.
Like, wouldn't you be real upset if you met Obama and now that's how he laughed? Like, wouldn't you feel betrayed? I'd be so mad. If I met Lex Friedman and he laughed like that, I wouldn't listen to his podcast anymore.
Did you see the meme I posted of Joe Biden?
Which one?
It's like a video of him in like the 2000s, and he's like, marriage is between a man and a woman, and the states need to appreciate that. And then the next clip is him Nail, and he goes, "I'm gay."
Well, everyone, thank you for listening or watching.
Don't forget Joe Biden's gay. All your local politicians are gay.
And also don't forget I am now the son.
Yep.